Hey, how are you? Joe here, and welcome to the Noble Strength Way of Life. As we now progress into some very important topics, I wanted to speak about how we are going to make a more powerful connection with our Earth partners. Now, you notice I replaced the word relationship with connection. Relationship is one of those words. Connection is powerful. Shows we are connected to one another. It's not just in a relationship. There is a difference. And you also notice I didn't say humans. I said Earth partners. Because, my friends, the Noble Strength Way of Life really needs now to branch into how we are connecting to all of our Earth partners, all of creation. And we're going to spend some real good time together on this important topic. Many examples coming. For today, I wanted to speak with you about two that I think have a really good kind of set the stage platform, if you will. The first is about my friend the custodian and his friend the squirrel. This dates back to my college days, where I would remember sitting out on the plaza of the campus. And in one of the buildings, one of the custodians had an incredible relationship with a squirrel. This squirrel would actually come up to him, wait for him to come outside, and then follow him into the building. The custodian would be able to feed him peanuts and actually get close to him to pick him up, although he never did. This was an amazing thing that actually students would flock to come and watch this every day. I was there every day, probably missed a class or two. Don't say anything that I told you that. But in fact, this story really highlights a level of trust and respect between a human and a very unsuspecting animal, right? How many times do we hear about trust and respect with a squirrel? The second one is one that took place not too long ago, when I was waiting actually outside of a restaurant to go in when it was waiting to be opened. And I struck up a conversation with a gentleman who informed me that he was a Vietnam vet. He proceeded to tell me, as we got into the subject of what our interests are, and of course I started to talk about my dogs, and he started to tell me a story about how he developed a relationship with birds in Vietnam. And it was important for me to understand that he never liked birds at any point in his life. But the birds apparently were in a place where he would sleep at night in this very dangerous environment. And they would sit on top of a fence. And he told me that over time, he started to realize that the birds were bringing him comfort. Their tweets would bring him comfort and peace in a time when he needed it most. I was pretty captivated by his story, and I will tell you that it made me realize that we really do need to always open our minds and hearts as far and wide as possible, because we just never know when a connection is going to take place with a precious earth creature. Well, for now, I leave you with those thoughts because, as I said, we're going to branch further into this connection with our earth partners in our coming sessions of the Noble Strength Way of Life. For now, as always, provide me with your comments, your feedback, your thoughts. And please, as always, follow me on noblestrength.life. And yes, tell everyone to become a member so that we can grow our way of life even further and expand our way of creating a sense of peace and love in the world today. Take care.